People think the mountains are peaceful, quiet, romantic, a place where the world feels smaller and problems don't follow you. That's I believe too. Before the silence started answering back, before the mountains began to watch us, before my girlfriend stopped acting like herself, and before I realized that some places don't want couples, they want offerings, my girlfriend Isla loved the mountains. She talked about them the way people talk about childhood homes, with nostalgia, with longing, like part of her had been left behind there. I was the opposite. Cities made sense to me. Noise, people, streetlights, signals, everywhere. The mountains felt empty, too empty. But when Isla suggested a 3-day trip to a remote mountain area, no resorts, no crowds, just nature, I agreed. Because when someone you love looks at you with that smile and says, "Please, just trust me," you stop listening to instincts. We packed light. A small tent, sleeping bags, a portable stove, limited, food, 1 power bank, 1 flashlight, 2 phones. No guide, no group, no signal maps, just us. The location was a lesser-known mountain range, hours away from the nearest town. Even the locals we asked hesitated before giving directions. One old man at a roadside shop paused mid-sentence and asked, "You going there? Together?" When I nodded, he didn't smile. "Come back before dark," he said. "Mountains change after sunset." I laughed it off. I wish I hadn't. The drive up was beautiful. Winding roads, pine trees, cold air slowly replacing the warmth of the lowlands. Isla was quiet, unusually quiet. She stared out the window like she was looking for something specific. "You okay?" I asked. She smiled softly. "Yeah, just it feels familiar." That should have been my first warning. The paved road ended sooner than expected. After that, it was gravel, then dirt, then nothing that looked like a road at all. My GPS lost signal completely. Ella said, "This is right." "How do you know?" I asked. She pointed ahead. "That bend." I remember it. I didn't remember her ever mentioning being here before. But again, love makes you ignore questions. We planned to camp. That was the plan. But as the sun began dipping behind the peaks, we saw something through the trees. A cabin. Old. Wooden. Like it had grown out of the mountain rather than being built on it. No lights. No smoke. No sound. I slowed the car. That wasn't on the map. Isla's face changed. Not fear. Relief. I didn't think it would still be here. she whispered. My heart dropped. Still be here, I repeated. She looked at me, almost surprised. Oh, thought I told you. You told me what? She hesitated, then smiled again. Nothing important. That cabin wasn't abandoned. The door was unlocked. Inside, there was dust, but not neglect. A table, 2 chairs, a mattress on the floor, and marks on the walls, deep scratches. Not random, vertical, like fingernails. We stayed. I don't know why I didn't insist on leaving. The sun was already gone. The forest outside felt dense, heavy, like it absorbed sound. No birds, no insects, no wind. Just silence. Inside the cabin, Isla seemed calmer than she had all day. Almost happy. She cooked quietly, hummed softly to herself. What are you humming? I asked. She froze. I didn't realize I was. I didn't sleep well. Sometime in the night, I woke up to movement. Isla wasn't beside me. The cabin door was open. Cold mountain air poured inside. I sat up. No answer. Then I heard it. Footsteps. Not inside, outside. Slow. Bare. Circling the cabin. I grabbed the flashlight and rushed to the door. Nothing. No one. No footprints. But when I turned back, Isla was standing inside, near the wall, staring at the scratch marks. They're getting deeper, she said. What? I whispered. She turned to me, eyes reflecting. The flashlight beam. They're closer now. Ti pode ugachate. Ti felto orange. Morning came too fast. Or maybe it never fully left. The light outside was grated, like the sun was struggling to reach us. My phone had no signal. Still, neither did hers. I suggested leaving, immediately. Isla shook her head. We can't, she said. Why not? She looked at the mountains. They don't like it when people run. I laughed nervously. You're joking. She didn't smile. That's when I noticed something strange. The car. It was still there, but the road behind it was gone. Not hidden, not covered. Gone. Trees where the path had been. Old trees. As if the road had never existed. I stood there staring at the trees, my mind refusing to accept what my eyes were seeing. The road was gone. Not blocked. Not collapsed. Not hidden under fog or debris. Gone in a way that felt deliberate. The trees, growing where the road had been, weren't young. Their trunks were thick, bark rough and old, roots twisting deep into the earth. This wasn't something that happened overnight. This isn't funny. I said, my voice shaking, despite my attempt to sound calm. We drove in on this road. Isla didn't look surprised. She walked past me slowly, running her fingers along one of the tree trunks, almost affectionately. "But it lets people in," she said. "But it decides when they leave." My chest tightened. "What are you talking about?" She turned to me then, really turned. And for the first time since the trip started, her face looked tired. "You remember that old man at the shop?" she asked. "Yeah. He tried to warn us." "Warn us about what?" She looked past me, toward the cabin, toward the mountains towering above it, like dark gods carved from stone, about being together up here. Het awile neni viartuel di memi. We went back inside the cabin. I didn't like being out in the open anymore. The forest felt too aware, too quiet, like it was listening. Inside, the air was cold despite the closed door. Isla sat on the mattress and motioned for me to sit too. "There are things I should have told you before we came," she said softly. My heart pounded. "You think?" She swallowed. "I didn't plan this. Not like this." "Then why does it feel like you know exactly where we are?" She hesitated for a long time. Then she spoke. "When I was a child," she began, "my parents brought me here." I frowned. "Here as this mountain." She nodded. "They didn't mean to. Their car broke down on the way to somewhere else, same as us. The road just changed." I remembered how confidently she'd guided us once the GPS died. "How old were you?" I asked. "Eat." Something about that age made my stomach twist. "They found the cabin too," she continued. "It was newer then, cleaner, and the marks on the walls weren't as deep." I looked at the scratches again. "They stayed one night," she said. "Only one night." I leaned forward. "Ayla, what happened to your parents?" She didn't answer immediately. Instead, she asked, "Do you know why people say the mountains are alive?" I shook my head. "Because they take," she said. "And they remember." THERULE of PARs. Isla told me the story the way a child would remember it. In fragments, emotions more vivid than facts. She remembered waking up that night to whispers outside the cabin, her parents arguing in hushed voices, her mother crying, her father going outside with a flashlight and not coming back. Her mother waited until morning, when she finally went out to look for him. She didn't scream. She just dropped to her knees because there were footprints. Only one set, leading away from the cabin, none coming back. And then I whispered. Isla's voice trembled. "Then the mountain came closer." "What does that mean?" She pointed to the walls. The scratches weren't there when we arrived. Not like that. They appeared overnight. Why did you leave? I asked. If the road disappears. Isla's eyes met mine. Because I wasn't alone, she said. And then I was. The mo ntalns blnce. The mountain didn't take randomly. That's what Isla believed. It took to balance. It didn't like solitude, it fed on connection. Couples, families, friends, pairs. One stays. Isla said. My mouth felt dry. You're saying this place kills people? No, she corrected softly. It keeps them. A sudden through the cabin. A knock. 3 slow knocks on the door. I froze. Isla didn't move. The knocking came again, then a voice. My voice, my voice. Hey, open up. I felt my blood turn to ice. That's not me, I whispered. Isla stood slowly. It learns fast. The voice outside sounded confused, afraid. Why aren't you opening the door? It asked. It's cold out here. I covered my mouth to stop myself from responding. Isla stepped closer to the door, her hand hovering over the handle. Don't. I hissed. She looked back at me. Her expression wasn't fear, it was resignation. Yang. Ers. Femelarity. The knocking stopped. Footsteps moved away from the cabin, crunching softly over pine needles. Silence returned. Too deliberate. What was that? I asked. Isla sat back down slowly. It tries to separate people, she said. Confuse them. Lure one of them outside. By pretending to be them. Or someone they trust. I thought of the grocery store. Stories I'd heard online. Of voices mimicking loved ones. Of things that wore familiarity, like skin. How did you survive as a child? I asked quietly. Isla hugged her knees. I stayed inside. My mother didn't. The weight of that settled over us. She heard my father calling. Isla whispered. She followed his voice into the trees. And you? I asked. I waited, she said. The mountain doesn't want children. Not yet. Te. Suckio D. Nigtapp. Roh. HS. By afternoon. The light hadn't improved. The sky was a dull, unmoving gray. Time felt wrong. My phone battery hadn't drained. Neither had hers. The clocks on our phones didn't agree anymore. One said 30:12 p.m. The other said 60:47 p.m. Night comes faster the second time, Isla said. What happens the third time? I asked. She didn't answer. As the temperature dropped, the sound started. Whispers. Not words. Breath, close to the walls. Scraping. Slow fingernails dragging across wood. The scratches on the wall deepened before our eyes. I watched a new line appear, carving itself into the wood like an invisible hand was pulling it down. Ayla. I whispered, panic rising. What does it want from us? She looked at me, eyes glassy. It already has me, she said. Tichi clenifasium. That night, as darkness pressed in from every crack, Ayla finally told me the truth. I didn't mean to bring you here, she said. But when we started dating, the dreams came back. What dreams? Off the cabin, of the scratching, of the mountain calling my name. My stomach dropped. It doesn't forget, she said. It waits. And it waited for you to come back, I said. It needs closure. Sculpture, she whispered. Balance. I stood up, pacing. So what? I brought us here to kill one of us. Her eyes filled with tears. No, she said. It brought us here so one of us could leave. The scratching grew louder. The cabin shuddered. Something heavy moved around us, circling. Choosing. The-phenel-IGHT. Night didn't fall. It arrived. 1 second, the cabin was dimly lit by a gray evening glow. The next, darkness slammed into the windows like a living thing. No stars. No moon. No outline of trees. Just black. The scratching on the walls grew louder, closer, more aggressive. The sound wasn't random anymore. It had rhythm, like breathing. In. Out. The cabin creaked, as if something heavy leaned against it. I stood near the door, with the flashlight clenched in my hand, knuckles white, are hammering so hard. I thought it might alert whatever was outside. Ayla sat on the mattress, unnaturally calm. This is when it decides, she said quietly. I whispered. Stays. The scratching stopped. Silence rushed in thick, suffocating. Then the voice came. Not outside, inside, behind us. I don't want to be alone, but the voice kept speaking. Soft, broken, sounding like Ayla. I stayed for so long. It said, you promised you'd come back. Ayla flinched. That's my mother, she whispered. My stomach dropped. She shouldn't sound like that. Ayla continued. She never sounded like that. The air grew colder. My breath fogged. The walls began to feel closer, like the cabin was shrinking. Then the door opened, on its own. Enthes. Beyond the doorway was not the forest. It was wrong. The trees bent inward, twisted toward the cabin. Cabin, like they were leaning to listen. Shadows moved independently of their shapes, and standing just beyond the tree line was a figure. Tall. Too tall. Its body was stretched thin, joints bent at unnatural angles, skin pale like stone bleached by weather. Its face was almost human, almost, but the eyes were wrong. Too deep, too empty. When it spoke, it didn't move its mouth. "You brought him," it said. Isla stood. "You already took enough," she said, voice trembling but firm. The thing tilted its head. "You left unfinished." My heart pounded. "What does it want?" I whispered. Isla didn't turn to look at me. "It wants me to choose. T-G-E-S." The thing stepped closer. With each step, the cabin groaned. "You were allowed to leave," it said to Isla. "Because you were small? Because you were incomplete?" Isla's fists clenched. "You took my father. You were spared. You took my mother. You were balanced." It turned its hollow gaze toward me. "Now you are two again." I felt suddenly exposed. Seen. Measured. "What happens if we both leave?" I asked, my voice cracking. The thing's lips curled, not a smile. "The mountain starves." "And if both stay?" I asked. "It grows." Isla finally turned to me. Her eyes were wet. "This is why it brought me back," she said. "I was never supposed to escape." "No," I said. "We'll leave together. We'll find a way." She shook her head slowly. "Love wins here." THEOFER. The thing raised one long, pale hand. "Choose, it said. Isla took a step toward it. "No," I shouted, grabbing her wrist. She looked back at me and smiled. A real smile, the one I fell in love with. "I didn't tell you everything," she said softly. "What?" I begged. She touched my face. "I knew, when I asked you to come, that only one of us would leave." My chest felt like it was collapsing. "You used me," I whispered. Tears rolled down her cheeks. "I loved you," she said. "That's why I brought you." The scratching on the walls stopped completely. The cabin waited. ABUTHESCRATCHES. Isla turned back toward the walls. "Do you know what those marks are?" she asked. I shook my head, unable to speak. "They're not from people trying to get out," she said. "They're from people trying to stay." The realization hit me like a physical blow. "The mountain doesn't trap," she continued, "and invites. And once you accept, it asks for someone you care about." The thing outside watched silently. "I stayed alive all these years because it was waiting for me to bring someone back." Isla said. I fell to my knees. "Please," I whispered. "Don't do this." She knelt in front of me. She said gently, "But you do." I grabbed her shoulders. What can refuse? We can starve it. She shook her head. It doesn't need food, she said. THEKOICEIDIDNTGTT. Makey. The thing stepped forward, closer, closer. The pressure in the cabin became unbearable. My ears rang. My vision blurred. Ayla! I screamed. She stood and walked toward the doorway. Each step she took felt like something tearing inside me. She stopped at the threshold, turned back one last time. Don't come looking for me, she said. It won't let you find the road again. Then she stepped outside. The door slammed shut. The darkness exploded into sound. Scraping. Howling. The walls shook violently. The scratches deepened, racing downward like claws dragged in. Fury and satisfaction. I screamed until my throat burned. Then, silence. Themrng, ileft aaloen. I woke up on the cabin floor. Sunlight streamed through the windows. Birds sang. The forest looked normal, peaceful. The scratches on the walls were gone. The door was closed. I ran outside. The road was back. Fresh tire tracks. My car waited, untouched. Isla was gone. No footprints. No sign she'd ever existed. Except one thing. On the inside wall of the cabin, deep into the wood, I stayed. THEFTRMATH. I drove for hours before reaching civilization. No one believed me. No missing person report existed for Isla. No photos remained on my phone. No messages. No proof. It was like she had been erased. But sometimes, when I'm alone at night, I hear scratching on my walls. Slow, patient, like something reminding me. The mountain let me go, and one day, it might ask me to come back. Female END. Some places don't haunt you because you visit them. They haunt you because you survived them.